Previously on Spectating. Okay, yeah, this is okay. You're being too impatient. Scorponic, thanks for the 46 months to feature present. Thank you, appreciate it. Try not to peel for their tank. Just go to their backline and pressure them. You just don't try to peel for the tank. Go for their backline, and you'd be surprised of how much you'll get a limbs there. Because no one can actually peel for you or help you at that point either, right? So like you're gonna be making this like really cool play. You know, I have a question for you after this team play. Do you notice how on Reaper you're going to their backline? Why weren't you doing that on Venture? Because if you did that on Venture, you would have gotten way more value, but for some reason on Reaper, you just teleport in and then go for their backline. Okay, what hero are you back on now? Echo? That was my concern. It's like you're about to retake in a really close range situation, and one of the spots where Echo can struggle. Echo is good close range, right? But Echo is not good when you're confined into that close range. Where are they now? All right, so today's video, we are back with another Where Are They Now? And in the previous video, they were Plat 5 DPS on PC 10 months ago. And in the previous VOD, their team was flaming them, and it was actually the enemy team who defended them. A main feedback we had was their mechanics are good, they just needed to play to their hero strengths. Basically, they were playing Venture like Reaper, and they were playing Reaper like Venture. Basically, when they would hero swap, it was like they were playing the same hero, just with a different kit. I say, hiya, it's been about 9 months since I submitted my last VOD, and I think that I improved a lot with your help since last time. I've been working on a lot of my mistakes, and even found that listening to music helps to keep me from being impatient most of the time. I used to game with music a lot. I had lots of fun during this game, considering the wide rank of the match up, which made me feel like I was going to drag my team down. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'd like to think I did pretty okay. However, I did have some difficulties when it was my team's turn to defend. I felt like I wasn't giving my team much value, and that I could have done better. I would appreciate to hear any advice you would have for me, since I'm always looking for better ways to improve and not repeat past mistakes. Anyway, thank you in advance. I hope you enjoy the VOD and that you have an amazing day. All right, let's figure this out. We'll guess the rank after and kind of see where to go from there. I think that's the plan here, right? All right, off to quite the start here. Looks like you're trying to set up your mouse or something. Okay. You're running your way through. You're clearing out areas. This is a unique start. There you go. So you're trying to set up. All right. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I feel like you probably shouldn't just end up on the card as Venture. I feel like if you do that, you're gonna end up not doing much. Venture is all about setup time. You need to be set up in spots. Like, this is correct, by the way. This right here is what I mean by setup time. It feels like you started that a little bit too safe, if I'm seeing that correctly. Like, I feel like you just played that one, yeah, just way too safe, in my opinion. All right. Okay. The next part for you is to start getting in disruption mode here, all right? I want to get you out of the habit of just stacking the cart, but I mean, I don't know. If it works, I guess. But I just feel like you could already be disrupting their backline a little bit more, or disrupting them. Like, let me show you an example of this, because like I can say like you could do this, could do that. Like, a lot of what makes really good ventures is that they disrupt a lot. Now, obviously, you can be on the cart and you can do this, but like you already have enough people here, right? As Venture, you could be over here disrupted. And you're like, yeah, but like, what if they kill me? Well, the thing is, you have escape routes, right? You have the ability to go down here. You have a health pack. You can escape out and rotate around, right? Heck, I mean, Venture in like a cave system over here is great, right? Maybe find some like archaeology down here and things like that. Point being is, when you're on Venture, it's fine for a little bit, but you have so much more opportunity to survive. And I think that's what makes Venture a good hero, is not only can you disrupt backlines, you can also survive that play. You get a lot of extra HP. You get these, like, shields. So don't be afraid to, like, go through the hallway here. You know, start to slowly go here. You know, make a play in the ash. If they start to go for you, you can literally go under the ground, right? And then go this way. Things like that, right? Holy crap, what is this? Like a deep silo. That's cool. I never knew that was underneath there. Learned a lot about this map. Okay, anyway. Did you see how your path then just leads you in front to where they're all looking? The idea when you're playing a flanker-style hero is that, like, they have to turn to look for you, not just be able to shoot at you because your whole team's right in front of you, right? Obviously, there's going to be, like, niche cases where it doesn't happen that way, but so far, you've been playing that way, and that's kind of part of the problem. Kind of confused. Are you leaving? Okay, you're just staying with your team a little bit, I guess. Okay, so your next play is here. Good job. Yeah, I got nothing wrong with that. Nice aggressive play. That's what we like to see. Nice aggressive play. And then you get the kill. Do you see why I would like for you to set up more? Yeah, the Mercy was trying absolute best right there to get a res off. Wasn't going to happen. Like, right, that's why I want to see you set up more, because I think you could make more plays like that if you're, like, in the middle of team fights or like, set up, rather than basically having to go in and make it obvious you're making that play. I don't know why their Mauga just went right down to the point. That was certainly a play. There must have been some type of miscommunication or something on that one. That or you had that one person in your game who's always screaming to get onto the point. Even though, like, you don't need to get onto the point at that point, and then they get on the point and they get mad at you for going onto the point, even though they were telling you to get on the point.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll guess the rank after. I have to wait to guess. Alright. Like I said, you're doing a lot of the same stuff with that. Like, go up there. Go up with the ashes. Yes, there you go. Now, I would like to see you do that a little bit sooner, but this is the correct play. Nice job. Now you can disrupt them. Now they're looking at you. You know, you could argue you might get a little bit too aggro, but, like, not even too aggro. I mean, the Ashe could have killed you, but honestly, they're not proving they can right now, so good job getting underneath. Remember, health pack awareness can be huge here. You do get the kill, though. You could argue the health pack, but hey, I'm not gonna... Listen, if you get a kill, you get a kill. So you're being aggressive. And I'd still rather see you be a little bit too aggressive, just so you can learn what is really aggressive and what isn't. And I'm happy with those plays. So, nice job. Yeah. Yes, you can get a health pack when you're underground, which I think they know that. I mean, they just did that straight up, but, like... I don't know. I sometimes a player, like, knows what they're... I'm sure I have times on D.Va where I survive with 20 HP because I play so much D.Va. I just know when, like, you know, when I won't get demaxed or something, right? So I get it, you know? Oh, I want to say this. First of all, it's not an ego bot at all because they spent half of the game on the cart. That wouldn't be an ego bot at that point. And it's okay to push the cart, but, like, as Venture, when your whole team's there, different story. Good ult time in here. I love it. I love the ult timing on this one, because you're not necessarily getting kills, but two of the players felt disrupted by your ultimate, and it kind of forced them to the side. So that was good. That was a very good job. Now remember, they mentioned that during this game, that they did struggle a little bit on defense, right? So, like, a good attack happened, and that's fine. But it was more on the lines of that you'll probably see a little bit more of a struggle coming up, which is what we expect, right? Yeah, the ult did secure the point. That's what I'm saying. I like those aggressive plays sometimes, because if that was a good... aggressive, like, this will be super helpful to the team play. And that's what you know, that's the best you can ask for sometimes. Obviously on Venture again, which Venture on defense, sometimes finding value on Venture is I'm going to give the advice of, like, remember, you can play your defense like you can play your attack. I think a lot of people kind of get lost in that one, where they just don't play it the correct way in that sense. Does that make sense? So we'll see. Here we go. You're just using your third person here to be able to see, like, if they're coming around the corner. I'm okay with this. Just be careful at a certain point. That doorway is going to be right to your left. I'm going to move your camera. Yep. Okay. Might have stayed there for a little bit too long, in my opinion. Yeah, that's on you. I mean, you have to recognize at a certain point that they can go through a doorway and kill you to your side. I'm okay with that initially, especially if they're going for, like, a really early aggressive play. I think we all can agree that's fine, right? But at a certain point, you need to recognize that they can also go to your other doorway and kill you. The moment you don't see them there for a certain amount of time and you don't even hear any footsteps there's a good chance they're going to do what you did on attack, which is stack the cart. So that's on you for staying there for too long. Yep, and then your disengagement point was towards them, but it didn't matter anyway, because I think you would have fallen over regardless because of where your teammates set up. Now you're back again. Same concept here where you that was an autopilot moment there where, like, you ever do that, chat, where you kind of just, you go through the motions a little bit to get back to the point, and the next thing you know, you run into people? That's what just happened. I think we've all been there. I've had those moments where you kind of just, like, you kind of get back to the point, but you're not really paying attention to the point at the time, and you're like, wait a second. So, you got away with that, but you gotta be careful of that, doing it too much. I don't mind you pressuring the Genji here. Just be careful of, yep, did I health back? Totally fine. And then just pressure out their tank. Did you, oh, you never do that? Oh, fair enough, okay. My bad. And you fall over again. Unlucky. Rough start. Once again, setup time, less being around your team stacked. I mean, it looks like you're about to swap, so you're on Ashe. Ashe is fine here. Looking at their comp, yeah, I'm okay with Ashe here.
No one can hide from us.
This ends now. Run away, run away. So far, nothing really happening. When it's 6v6 comp, when the mid-season patches, which is tomorrow. Obviously, if you're watching this video on YouTube in a couple days, the patch is already out, but yes. So far, like, nothing's happened here. Like, I don't really have any... You're playing back, you're hitting your shots a little bit here and there. Like, I don't really have anything here. Obviously, when I say hitting shots, like, obviously it's not perfect, but... I don't know. Seems pretty straightforward so far. Yep, I mean, this is the part of the map where, like, okay, now we see something happen. I mean, truthfully, you kind of missed the boop, but, like, it didn't matter because they had the dash reset. So at that point, you want to wait for the dash reset and then go for the boop. That makes sense? Basically, if anybody doesn't understand how Genji works with that, so let's say that you see Genji dash into the air, right? And you go, oh, Genji's used dash now on their blade. I don't have to worry about that. Well... When you have blade, you actually give yourself another dash. So the moment you hit your blade button, it refreshes your dash cooldown. So when you're going up against a Genji in that situation, the best thing you can do is kind of wait for that dash. It can be risky at times, obviously, especially if nanoed, but like you got to try to stop the play. So what you do is you wait for that, and then you go into like the disengagement tool, and then you'll probably be able to survive that if you don't die on like the first swing from the Genji. That's why Genjis do blade out of spawn if they already get back quickly. Yeah, you get a dash reset. Dash, and then you get another dash. Good dynamite. Be careful here for a second, but you should be okay. The tank is doing a good job staying alive on point. I say that, and then they get pooped off the point, but I mean, it isn't Orisa, so that can happen. Damn. Okay. Just back away. Don't use your bob or anything yet. I would save your bob.
They got us outnumbered.
Well, that was, man, that javelin you can see coming from a mile, and you certainly did. You watched it the whole way. Yeah, you watched it the whole way. Isn't that great? Here we go. Wait for it. Bob is fine. I mean, Bob is basically just meant to get time off the clock and get kills if you can. Did you Bob after Widow? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, the team was getting kind of rolled regardless, but yeah, it's like, with Bob, I'll be real with you, sometimes just using Bob in general is just a good way to buy time. Your Bob can be effective, but your team also needs to be able to push with the Bob. I think sometimes a problem people run into... people run into with Bob is that they try to just run Bob in, right? And I think a lot of what people don't get with Bob is that it's better to, like, send your Bob in with the team rather than just send a Bob in. So I would be careful of just kind of sending Bob in, like, by yourselves. Okay, so now you're on May. Now you're on May. Let's figure out what's next for you. A lot of your problem, by the way, is I think you just... You need to go into Playmaker mode a little bit more sometimes. And I think that's something we've talked about in previous VODs where you have the mechanics, you have the ability, and we talked about this before with you, you have the ability to go and make plays, you just don't make them all the time. You get very safe with them. Now, obviously, Mei can fit more into that playstyle where Mei is more of like an off tank, So you don't have to be as aggressive as you would on the other heroes that you were playing. Well, technically you don't need to be aggressive on Ashe, but you do need to have, like, well-placed time bombs, things like that, dynamites, etc. But I don't know what you're running in circles a lot. I know you're trying to go for the Genji. Just be careful of position in there, but you're fine for now, so you're good. I'd call that a playmaking play, right? Going for a kill on a Genji you saw on high ground. Took a little bit of a weird path to get there, but you got the kill. Sojourn kills you. Still, I think that's because your teammates were rotating the round, so it's more of a good play by Sojourn than necessarily a bad play by you, because you also made a good play on the Genji. Once again, sometimes you can make a good play, other team just makes a better play. Happens. Going to the point in a second, I think. That's a good block. You're doing the AoE damage at the door. It's for anybody wondering, the Mei has the perk where you do like AoE damage, area of effect, like basically in front of their whole team when you're ice blocked. So that ice block play is okay. The downside of it is you did get killed during it, but like I can't just sit there and be like, hey, you need to be a playmaker, then you go be a playmaker, and then say don't be a playmaker. I think like the right idea. The problem was that your teammates also weren't in the correct spot to be able to follow up. So like you need to recognize when it's just you. So right idea, probably wrong timing. Hope that makes sense. Or wrong like part to block at. Nice shot. Really well played there. I don't mind the mail. I think this is totally fine. Yeah, you made the right decision. Yep. And there you go. And then just get on there, Orisa. It should be good. Should be holding it so far. Did she block the Bob? Yeah, but like, honestly, that's more on the Ashe than it is on the Mei, right? I get what you're saying, but, you know, at a certain point, if you have that in front of you, you just got to know the interaction, which I think maybe they didn't know the interaction as well, and that's why it happened that way, you know? Let's see what happens. 2 minutes to push the point. Going into Ice Block. Okay. I mean, you're doing the same thing you did last time on Venture. You just, like, default to the cart like that. And again, it can work, but you also need to just kind of prioritize your positioning. And I think that's kind of what your problem is right there, is you're kind of just giving them free kills. Like, play cover a little bit better there. Like, don't give... If somebody up here basically can kill you, you're generally not using your cover correctly. I want you to see what it looks like from their point of view. Like, this is basically a free kill down this alleyway. If you look at it from this side, it has to be angled at a very, very aggressive angle here. So, like, if they can kill you for free on this side, then you're probably not positioning yourself as well as you could. And I think I've seen you do that twice now, where you just kind of... You stray to the left here. That wall's good. Like, if you're going to play the left side, that wall makes sense. That's a good wall, right? I don't think that will matter on the morning or nighttime, etc. That one, it's just be random. Except weekend games. Those can be something. There you go. Yeah, go top left. Go top left. Yes, right idea. Good job. Yes, yes. Here you go. Took a little bit longer than expected. But once again, right idea. It's about getting the timings right now. This is fine because you can wall them off. Now you've bought time for your teammates, right? They're focused elsewhere. Okay? If your teammates lose the team fight here, you can at least say, hey, I was there to, like, disrupt two of them. But it looks like you might be able to take this. A little bit ambitious of an ice block play. I see what you're aiming for there. Mercy looks like they want to res, or at least try to. They realized it wasn't a good idea and backed away. So, definitely took you a while there. I'll answer in a second, by the way, Peg, on that one. I got you. So your Mei ult's going to make or break this. I mean, obviously that Bob actually might make or break it. It really depends what their... Oh, no. They actually have good ults in the backline on you. You got the ult, the point in a second. You could clutch this. Good idea waiting to use it. Now you all point. That should... Yeah, that's going to kill Mercy. A little bit interesting because the Orisa survives that, but I think it's going to... Yeah, it took damage from the Orisa ult, so you should win this. Good Mei ult. You know, it's funny because I think you... From what I can tell, right? And we can... You're going to win this game here. Okay, ready? We're going to play Will My Game Crash? Yep. Okay, wonderful. It was interesting because when you played Mei, I felt like that fit your playstyle. And I think that the problem you're running into is, like, you have the mechanics, and we talked about that before. I just think that playstyle-wise, you prefer to, like, be a bit more with your team and play as a core rather than, as Venture, going and setting up, right? Like, if you're playing Tracer, you're not going to want to play in your backline. I mean, you're not going to want to sit on the cart the whole time. Sometimes with Venture, you need to take that same approach, right? So... it almost felt like the Ashe and the Mei play style really resonated well with you. And I think for you to, on Venture, you have great play. So I think on Venture, what you need to start doing is, it's funny, we talked about it. We actually said at the beginning of the VOD where it felt like you were playing, it almost feels like you're running into a similar issue where you play Venture like you would play other heroes, but you're getting better at playing Venture, if that makes sense. Like, I saw moments where you're like, oh, I can do this, I can go for this play. More of that. More aggression, more setup time. I think if you do that, you're going to be in a great spot. Once again, you've clearly gotten better. You're getting better. You just got to keep working at, like, separating the play styles. If you're on Mei and Ashe, you play more back with the team. If you're on Venture, you go for map control, all right? Less card time, less sitting with the core, more like, I'm in a surprise spot. Venture is one of the few heroes that can basically just surprise someone and get a free kill. The amount of times I've had a Venture just basically one-shot me, it's not a one-shot, but it feels like it. I'm like, holy crap, what a play. Didn't even know they were there. The point I'm making is more setup time, and you're getting closer to, like, that rank where you're going to need to have that setup time. Otherwise, people are not going to let you get that value on Venture. So let's just start with that, all right? Good job on Mei and like, as Ashe. Like, decent position at times, but on Venture, you need to set up more. When you start doing that, you're going to get way more value, all right? That's pretty much where we're going to be out with that one. So start with that. Now to the rank. Now, previously, obviously, when we watched you last time, your rank was Plat 5 DPS. I don't think you're Plat 5. I think you've probably moved into Diamond. I wouldn't quite say this is a Masters game yet. I mean, I could be wrong. I want to say, like, Diamond 3. I think you're definitely have made progress, and you're getting better at, like, all the heroes you play, but you still have some things to work on. So I would say you're a Diamond 3. We'll see if we're accurate. I think Diamond 3 is safe. Could be higher, could be lower. And the new rank is... Diamond 3. We've been getting good at that. We've had some really good guesses recently. Diamond 3 is the rank. So I'll give you an idea of why I go with Diamond 3. One, I mean, I can just give you hints here. Their recap said that they feel like they're getting better, which made me feel like a higher rank. But at the same time, when I was watching Venture, there were times where they were getting punished for the plays, and sometimes they weren't, which made me feel like you haven't quite got into, like, the full master lobbies yet, or, like, the tail, like, the high-end master lobbies, which means you're more than likely going to have inconsistencies in games where sometimes you're going to get that Masters 4 lobby where you're getting shut down more for just staying on card as Venture, then you're going to get a Diamond lobby where you're getting away with more of those plays. And that's kind of where I went with that one. So, yeah, anyway, I think if you work on your Venture play style a little bit more and find ways to improve in that area, I think you'll end up in a very good spot. I think it's just like, you definitely need to separate each hero's play style, because I think that sometimes that might be hurting your Venture gameplay, where I'm seeing you have these good plays. Let's just get more of those. And that's by just setting up more. Like, play like you would do like a Tracer type of setup. All right? You got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to all the YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. All of that helps. You want to submit your own spectating, description below is my Discord. That's where we do that. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. We also stream on YouTube, so stop by if you haven't. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day / night.